As fire tests cold, so adversity proves the spirit. Welcome, guys. Welcome this morning to Tales of Transformation, where we talk about principles in life of success in life that reflect principles of success in dog training and how we can succeed in both. So hopefully it can amuse you, entertain you for a little bit, and maybe you can take away something that's valuable to you and that provides a little value in your daily life. This morning, I was walking the dogs to the door to take them out for the little morning potty run, and there was a nice little nugget of poop on the floor. Just a small one, like a malted milk ball. Well, the mystery is, where's the rest of it? So I tiptoed around and could not find any. So I'm still expecting a landmine down there, but now I have a nugget of poop. Took care of it, but jump in the shower. Oh, it's not warm. Get a phone call. I have to jump out of the shower because it's a work call. So I jump out real quick to make sure everything's okay at our location down south. One of the trainers didn't show up. Meanwhile, we're trying to fill a space up here at the northern location in Saginaw. So we're already off to the races. Haven't even had breakfast, and one thing after another. And many times that's the way of it. I wish I could have you guys call in. We're not set up for that yet, but I'm sure many of you had mornings that make mine look easy. And I would love to hear what's going on and how you dealt with it, because life is rarely easy. It's always a challenge. You just got to choose where you're going to put the effort, what the hard parts are going to be, and where you're going to receive the benefits and the consequences. So step back, see the larger picture. Every day, grind, running back and forth to Troy, putting out fires there, running back here, putting out fires, trying to set things in motion for future activities, for future successes, babysitting, shaping employees, shaping our programs to give the most benefit to our clients and make sure that they experience the best thing ever when they came to us. It is a non-stop daily grind. This is kind of like when you have tough cases in dog training. There is no easy fix. There's no easy fix for running your business. There's no easy fix for a difficult dog situation. There are just some situations that are very difficult, and they're going to continue to be, and they require an ongoing effort to make them successful or to make them manageable. And if you somehow think, hey, I'll send it out for a week of training, it's just going to be fixed, I'll never have to think about it again, you're fooling yourself. Just like thinking, if I kick the dog and storm off to work, everything's going to be okay or it's going to smooth out. No. You have to change your perspective. You have to have a perspective in this and get ready to face the shield wall. You know, the Vikings, and that's where we get that expression, the way they would fight in mass would be to form a shield wall, and where they batter the enemy. And the shield wall is where the bravest and the strongest would go and face it. And it was very dangerous, obviously. So this was an expression we adopted in prison, is to get up and face the shield wall each day. You know, you're going to have these challenges. You're going to have these things pouring down on your head, things that you got to face on a daily basis. So what are you going to do? You know, I was in Jackson prison. This is a monolithic building or buildings. They literally built this place to be intimidating, so that when you walked in and you looked at these 5 stories of cells going down 50 cells long, you're eyes were overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of this. And it works. It works. When you walk into that place, especially for the first time, and you hear all that screaming and shouting going down, and your eyes are overwhelmed that you just can't take it all in. You know, these hundreds and hundreds of cells all lined up like bird cages. It's an astounding sight. And in 8 block, I was up on the 3rd gallery, which is the second to highest gallery. And it just so happened that when I would get up in the morning and I would have my coffee and I would sit on my bunk and just kind of wake up for the day. And I'm an early riser, so I would get up usually before everybody, 5:30 in the morning. But I would see there to the side a guy who didn't have any shoulders. Just the way I sat, my eyes kind of naturally fell in that direction. And it just happened to be this guy that did not have shoulders. His neck ran down to his arms. And so while I'd have my coffee every morning, he'd be getting up about the same time and putting on his t-shirt. And he looked like a wind dummy, waving back and forth. And it would be a 10-minute struggle for this poor guy to put on his shirt. And so as I was thinking about what I was going to do for the day and the situation I found myself in this hellhole in this big giant concrete and steel tomb, I would see this guy struggling. And as if life isn't bad enough, as if you're not stuck in here with a bunch of angry, ticked off, and violent men, mean and abusive guards, administrations that are corrupt beyond your wildest dreams, as if all that isn't bad enough, you don't have any shoulders. And after a while, I would feel so bad. I would carry that with me into my morning and be thinking about this poor guy over here. And I didn't know him. I mean, there's literally 500 people in each block. There's thousands of people down here. I didn't know much about him. All I could imagine was that life was very difficult for him. It was bad enough already being in there, and I was no weakling. But here's a guy who's not just a weakling. He's physically deformed so bad where I can't imagine he could protect himself that well. And I would carry this with me and think about it and think about this poor guy. And after a point, I realized, we all have our crosses to bear. We all have things. It doesn't matter if you have a silver spoon in your mouth. If you look at that guy, it's Richie Rich. He was born to rich parents and got a Porsche on his 16th birthday, or she got the GTA, when she was 15 and didn't even have a license. It doesn't matter. They all have their crosses to bear, and you don't know. You don't know what's going on in there. And so you can't bear that burden in yourself. You can show compassion. You can go out of your way. You can do kind things. But if you carry this and let it weigh you down, it's going to weigh down your day. But I digress. The other realization I came to with watching him is that there's always somebody that has it much worse. I would meet these guys from Central America, Guatemala, Salvador, and they would describe these prisons that, wow. I don't think that later on they had TV shows that would go inside world's worst prisons, and I don't even think they described them nearly accurate enough compared to what these guys, how they would describe. Essentially, it's 4 big walls, thousands of people in the middle, and they throw some scraps of food in each day, and you sort it out. And they would have actual shops along the wall where they would sell machetes and food and cats and whatever else they had, like a little village inside, and full of gangs and hostile men, criminal men, and you sort it out. And if you couldn't eat, then that was your problem. So how good did we have it at Michigan's worst cesspool, Jackson, South Yard, with its muddy yards and rusty water and toilets that flushed from one side into the other. How good did we have it compared to these guys down in Central America? How good did I have it compared to this gentleman over here with no shoulders? There's always somebody worse. There's always a worse situation you could be in. And that puts things in perspective. So if we have that perspective, then we can move forward, right? We could say, hey, well, it could be worse. So let me work with what I got and let me make it better, right? Because we're in control, everything. The situation you're in right now is in no small part because of your own thoughts, words, and actions. And that's just the way it's going to be. So you could have a dog that has worse behavioral problems. That could be the case. But even if your dog is on the severe end of the spectrum, you can't give up. What are you going to do? And you can't expect the dog just to be fixed when you take it to a behavioralist or a trainer and say, well, that behavioralist didn't know what he's talking about, so I'm going to take it to this one. And that trainer, I think they used the prong too much or the ticker too much and probably messed up my dog more, so I need to take it to a different trainer. No, you need to understand that a lot of these cases, a lot of these situations are requiring an ongoing effort. It's not like changing the tire on your truck. You don't just get a brand new tire and everything runs along smoothly. No. Now, a lot of these situations, you can't resolve. You're not able to resolve. You can't get the dog behaving better. He's not listening to you. He keeps doing what you don't want him to do. And in fact, he's getting worse. He's getting more aggressive, more reactive, more fearful, more anxious, more separation anxiety. And you say, well, hey, what's wrong with my dog? Well, here's where the trainer comes in and helps press the reset button on the dog, helps teach the dog a system of communication, and then shows you how to communicate properly with the dog to manage these situations and then to shape the dog's behavior over a course of time moving forward. You know, it's really easy and quick to train a dog some basic obedience things. Take a puppy, teach it sit, down, stand, left, right, heel, come, stay, things like that. They're relatively easy. And yes, a trainer should be able to do those things, comp it fairly quickly, and then hand it off to you, show you how to keep that going and even how to polish these behaviors. That's one thing. But when you're talking about serious behavioral issues, when you're talking about your two dogs are fighting, when you're talking about your dog is extremely reactive and resource guards spaces and food and toys and furniture to the extent that it'll lash out, growl, and even bite your family members, that's a serious issue. And it's not going to be resolved in 1 week, usually. There are cases, and we've turned many around in a week, that we're acting like this, and we're very happy, pleased, and sometimes surprised at how well they reacted to training. They just need a little reset and found a new way to behave and found a new way to relate to their owners, and we're quite happy with it. But many don't, and they require time. And the best trainers in the world are going to tell you that this is management and that you have to manage these dogs. So when you're faced with these challenges, and this is challenging, you know, stepping in the poop every morning, whether that's, you know, literal or figurative, of them fighting or resource guarding or doing these other behaviors, reacting so strongly, annoying all your guests so that they hold you hostage and you can't have your family and friends over. These types of behaviors can often take time and management. So you have to get up for the task. Your day and back to our lives, take time and management. We have to invest. We have to invest in the positive. We have to invest in moving forward. We have to invest in growing onward and upward, always onward and upward. If we're counting on the easy, if we're counting on the freebie, if we're counting on someone else to fix our life, it's not going to happen. That's the same thinking that got us into the problem in the first place. So we have to change the thinking. We have to change how we respond, how we communicate to our dogs. We have to respond to their behavior, their personality, their past experience, their age often, their physical well-being. All these things are factors that work in together that we have to think about when we want them to change their behavior. So how are we going to work with them? How are we going to get them to see the situation differently and move them forward? And that becomes a problem-solving issue. It's a problem. It's a challenge. How do we do this? And we're going to be talking about specific ways and techniques to do this. But first, we have to get the mindset that it's not an easy fix. If you have two dogs fighting in the house, two dogs that are reactive to each other, I have bad news for you. Dogs hold grudges. Dogs will feel about people the way people feel about people. Have you ever had that person you just really didn't feel good about? You thought they were a bad person. You didn't like them. And it didn't matter who vouched for them and said, oh, no, Mary's really a great lady. John's really a great guy. But you just couldn't see it. You wanted to, but you just couldn't see it. You're like, no, I know that person is up to no good, and nobody can tell me differently. That's how a dog will get. So you can teach it to not be reactive, and it'll be a perfect gentleman on the street. It'll act great as you heel down the street, see strange dogs, see strange people, and you get home to where the other one is that he has a grudge against, and it's on. And you can't convince him otherwise. That can be a very difficult situation. It's a fixable situation much of the time, even most of the time, but it's not an easy fix. And it takes time. It takes management. It takes leading the dog. It takes introducing it to positive interactions, positive experiences to change that perception, to restructure how it's thinking about the situation. Likewise, we have to restructure how we think about our day. And if we go at it thinking, hey, this really stinks, I can't do this, then it's not going to change. If we feel overwhelmed, if we feel like it's just not worth addressing the issue, then we're not going to change it. So when it comes to success with your dogs, when it comes to success in your day, don't give up. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. Sometimes we have a good day and it smooths by. Sometimes our dogs are just right and act like a dream. But many times they don't. And it's on those days when we are tried, when the test is on us. Are we going to prove ourselves in the fire? Are we going to prove ourselves through the adversity? Are we going to come out a little stronger? Are we going to have better behaved dogs at the end of the day, even if just incrementally? A little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit the next day. We're going to stay with it. We're going to keep applying these principles. The principles of moving the ball forward, of pushing forward, of pushing upward. Our own life, our dog's life, our relationships. Are we going to keep getting a little bit better each day, even when it's hard? That's what I want to share with you today. It's been a heck of a road. 4 years I've been out, and each day has its own challenges. Each day has had its own fires to put out. But I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for the people around me. I'm thankful for the people that I've met and run across on this road. It's been fun. It's been an adventure. It's been eye-opening. And I get to meet these wonderful people all the time. And I look forward to bringing some of them right here with you and to have a chat with you guys and hopefully share some other insights and maybe something that'll uplift you and make your day, maybe make your day a little brighter, give you something to shoot for and to push your ball ever onward and upward. So thank you for joining me today in this little chat. Keep pushing on, keep plugging through, get up to that shield wall, make today a win, put that V in the column, and be thankful. Have a great day, guys.